Hey guys, what's happening? Thanks for tuning in, coming back and watching. Thought I'd do a little vlog here real quick. Some things on the channel I wanted to talk about, let you know about some coming attractions. I'm heading off to Iceland for the Luminar Photo Camp here really soon. And I wanted to talk about that, talk a little bit about some of the gear I'm bringing and what I hope to accomplish there, and then also share with you some of the coming attractions on my channel, and apparently share my dog. So let's hit it. Okay, first things first, gear. Gear is good. I love gear. You love gear. We all love gear. Everybody loves gear. I'm not really a gear head or a gear guy, and I certainly don't do gear reviews, nor do I intend to, but I like gear, and I specifically shoot Sony. It's just the brand that I like. So I picked it up. I don't know how well you can see this. This is the Mindshift gear, which is part of Think Tank. This is their First Light 20-liter bag. I've used Think Tank bags for years. Sorry, I'm making a lot of noise there. And I love them, but the bag that I primarily carry is a bit smaller because I'm often shooting in cities with just a couple of prime lenses. So going on a landscape trip, I wanted a bigger one that was more traditional backpack with like the waist attachment to sort of help the weight sit on your hips instead of on your shoulders. And not to mention, I need it to hold more. So let me jump into that. Okay, first things first, I have upgraded my camera body. I shoot with the Sony A7R Mark III now. I have the Sony A7 Mark II, which I'm bringing as a backup camera, but I moved up to the A7R Mark III a couple of months ago, and I've got attached to it the Sony 24mm prime lens, which is a f1.4. It's in their G line. It's incredible. It's a great prime lens. I use it for cityscapes and street shots quite a bit, but that 1.4 is going to be really helpful, especially if we're out at night shooting, and I think we're going to try to chase the aurora if we can. So my hope is, this is one of the things I was going to mention to you, is that I can capture some aurora shots, some night sky, and then share some editing videos around that. So hopefully that'll be coming. It'll depend on the weather, but regardless, that's the body, and that's one of my primary lenses. Also on the wide angle side of things is this is the Rokinon 14mm f2.8, so it's really wide at 14. It's wider than my Sony wide angle, which I'll talk about in a second. But this is a not super expensive lens, and I picked it up recently. I've had very little time to use it, to be honest, but 14mm is going to be great for these vast, wide landscapes, and that f2.8 is going to be great also for aurora chasing, and so kind of a combo lens, and not too big. It's going to go great with that Sony body. Okay, as far as wide angles go, I have the Sony 16-35. I'll be bringing that for sure. It's a nice range. It is the original Sony wide angle for full frame, which is an f4 lens. The G line or G Master is 16-35, but it's f2.8, and it's pretty expensive, so I don't have it. And truthfully, I don't shoot a whole lot of wide angles, so if I were to upgrade and get a 2.8 G Master lens in one of the different focal lengths, I probably would not get the wide angle one. I think this is fine for most of what I do, especially in Iceland during the day and sunset and things like that. It's just at night, if we chase aurora, that I'll probably convert to the 14 f2.8. So I think this will serve me well. Now here's where I got a question. I've also got the original 24-70, which is an f4 lens. The G Master is an f2.8, and now I think Sigma has an f2.8, and I think Tamron does as well. So I haven't looked at those, but I may do that at some point because that focal range is more applicable to me for most of what I shoot. So an f2.8 upgraded lens in that category may be something I do in the future. We'll see, but this is a great lens. But I'm torn. I've got that, and I've got the 24-240, which is a 3.5 to 6.3. I'm not sure which one I'm going to bring. Obviously, the 24-240 is bigger. It's also fairly heavy compared to this, and I don't know if I need that extended focal length. So if any of you have been to Iceland, maybe leave me a comment down below and let me know. Say, hey, definitely take that longer lens, or hey, Jim, you're going to be fine because the 24-70 is sufficient, and you're going to be shooting wide-angle landscapes anyway. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. If you have any ideas, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Now, I'm also taking my tiny little Sony RX100 Mark VII. It's a Sony point and shoot. It's a great little camera. I use it for video and vlogging. I'm filming on it right now, so I can't show it to you, but that's what it looks like. It's a great little camera. It fits in the palm of my hand. Super tiny, easy to carry around, very portable. And while I'm talking about video, I also have the DJI Osmo Pocket, which I carry around. It literally fits in the pocket. It's a great little camera. I use it for some time lapses and some B-roll and things like that. I've even vlogged on it. It actually works pretty well. I've got the little Manfrotto Pixie. I'll just have that on there. Be using that and probably use this to hold that RX100 Mark VII when I'm doing video. I'm going to try to capture a lot of behind the scenes. I'll try to do some vlogs, but I am working the camp, so I'm not really sure how much time I will have. I've also got an awesome little flashlight, which may come in handy at night, and I've got a full complement of filters, so that's about what I'm taking. In addition to my tripod, this is the Peak Design travel tripod. It's tiny, it's light, it's powerful, it's awesome. I'm really looking forward to using it. This will be my first trip with it, so it's going to be pretty awesome, and I'm excited about that. And lastly, I've got some hard drives as well. I've got this old 2 terabyte drive, which I'll use to just archive footage and photos on. And then recently I picked up this SanDisk SSD, and it's this tiny little thing, and it's 2 terabytes as well. So I'm gonna have those as backup drives to put all my footage, photos on, things like that, just to make sure everything's safe. And that's something I like to do and recommend doing when you're on a trip, is take your footage and your photos every night and back them up just to make sure that they're safe. Okay, so that's gear. Let's talk a little bit about the channel and some channel updates. In December and January, I made a lot of videos. I was averaging 24, 25 a month, just about one every day. It was really busy. I was home, and so it was easier for me to do. And of course, I love doing it, so I'm just gonna do that as much as possible. However, February is gonna be a little bit different. Obviously, I have Iceland, and then after that, I've got a couple of business trips back to back as soon as I get back from Iceland. So I'm gonna be running fast and sleeping very little, probably. But I did pre-make a number of videos, so I've already got 11 videos made that I haven't yet published on YouTube. So just to give you a sort of a preview of coming attractions, I'm gonna be talking about the matte look filter. I've got some creative monochrome stuff I'm gonna cover. I've got a deep dive on dodge and burn. I've got a twilight workflow, kind of a sunset blue hour thing coming. I've got a creative workflow video that's really fun with like an overlay and lots of kind of fun stuff coming. I've got a video where I take a single filter and use that exclusively on a photo and edit it, and I think you'd be surprised at what you can do. I've got a video about how I use looks and how I mastered looks and kind of how I use them to help me better understand how to use Luminar. I've also got a video coming about simulating an HDR kind of look in a Luminar, so that's coming soon as well. Then on top of that, I've got a video about the fog filter and some unique tips and tricks around that, how to amplify that in your photos. And not to mention, I've got a sunrise workflow coming as well. So that's a bunch of stuff, and I don't exactly know what order they're all going to be released in, but I've got them pre-made. And so instead of running a video about every day, I'll be running a video about 3 or 4 videos a week for the next few weeks. So still lots of stuff coming out. Frankly, it's a lot of work, and I just didn't have time to make a video for every day. And to be honest, especially when I'm in Iceland, and actually on those business trips too, I'm going to be really tied up, and my ability to interact with comments and things like that is going to be a bit more limited than normal. I don't know if you noticed, but I try to reply to every comment I get. It's hard, and as the channel grows, it gets harder and harder, but it's important to me because it's a community. I feel like we're friends, and frankly, I like and enjoy the conversations. So I'm going to keep trying to do that. Just keep in mind, I'm going to be fairly slow in the next few weeks because of all the travel that I'm going to be doing. So speaking of videos, I'm also continually thinking about ideas. You guys are great at giving me ideas, so I would like more ideas if you don't mind. Just leave comments down below, like on this video if you would, and say, hey Jim, what about this or what about that? And in particular, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna plan to capture in Iceland and how I could translate whatever those captures are, landscapes obviously most likely, and how can I translate that to video content that would help you guys better understand Luminar. So maybe if you have some ideas about landscapes, or like one in particular I'm thinking is I'm gonna, if we have the right weather, we're gonna try to capture some Aurora Borealis shots. I'd like to do a video around that. So that's a plan already, but other ideas that you have, I'm gonna be doing some waterfalls and landscapes and beaches and things like that. So lots of cool stuff coming, but I'm open to ideas. In fact, I not only welcome them, I insist you guys tell me some things that you're thinking about and things that may be helpful. And if I can make a video that's good or useful, I'll do that. So I appreciate that in advance. Thank you. And speaking of the trip, if you want to follow along, there's a couple of ways, actually there's more than a couple, there's quite a few ways you can do that. So I won't be creating any videos while I'm in Iceland or my 2 business trips. I'll just be too busy. But while I'm in Iceland, I'm going to try to capture a lot of videos. So my hope is to do a couple of vlogs and do some behind the scenes and that sort of thing. It will depend because I'm working the camp, so it's going to be rather busy. But I'm going to try to do that. But if you want to follow along, so here on YouTube, if you go to my channel, there's like home and then videos and then playlists or something, but there's a tab called community. I'm going to try to post photos, not every day, but I'm going to try to post a few photos while I'm in Iceland on that community tab. So be sure and check that out. Also, if you have a YouTube mobile app, you can post stories on YouTube just like you can on Instagram. So I'll probably be posting little video snippets of what we're doing on the trip. So if you follow along on mobile, you may see that show up, and I'd love to hear from you guys what you're thinking about that. On top of that, I'll probably do Instagram stories. The other thing is, I'm going to try to put photos on Flickr, assuming I have time to edit them, so you can follow me on Flickr or Instagram, but also Twitter. I've been using Twitter more and more, and so feel free to follow me on Twitter. Links are down below for all these sites, and I'll try to put some photos and video, possibly if I can, up on Twitter as well. So again, not every day, but I'm going to be posting things. And any shots that I have time to edit will go into Flickr. So you can check all those links out down below, but if you're curious about following along on the trip, see what it's like, I'll be sharing as much as I can. Okay guys, that's really it. That was just a quick summary of what's in my bag for Iceland, some things I'm thinking about regarding Iceland, some updates on upcoming videos, and how to follow along on the trip if you're interested. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm excited to meet there's literally some amazing pros. They're going to be basically all kind of co-leading the camp and the workshop. I'm going to do a couple of Luminar presentations there, and I'm going to be helping out as part of the Skyloom staff. But I'd say the most excited I am is hanging out and meeting all the participants in the camp. It's just so much fun. I love interacting on YouTube, but it's just different when you're in person, and so I'm really looking forward to that. So if any of you watching are going to be there, can't wait to meet you, and I'll see you soon. And for the rest of you guys, feel free to follow along. I look forward to interacting with you as time allows in the next few weeks. And you'll be seeing me soon because I got another video coming tomorrow. So I'll see you then, my friends. Have a great day. Take care, and adios.